Have you ever walked into a place where everyone's eyes told you that you didn't belong? Marcus Hayes knew that feeling too well. The moment he stepped into the luxury boutique on London's high street, the soft music and expensive perfume in the air could not hide the cold stares that followed him. He wore a plain black hoodie, clean sneakers, and a calm smile. He came to buy a gift for his wife's birthday, something special, something that would make her eyes light up. But before he could even take 2 steps, a sharp voice cut through the air. "Can I help you with something, sir?" Lily Carter asked, but her tone carried no kindness. Her smile was thin, her eyes scanning him like he was lost. Marcus replied gently that he was just looking around, but Lily crossed her arms and whispered to her co-worker. They both laughed quietly, thinking he didn't notice. He did, he just didn't react. Instead, he walked toward the glass case that displayed diamond necklaces. The store manager, Mr. Reynolds, stood nearby pretending not to see what was happening, but his smirk gave it away. He wanted Marcus gone. The customers around stared, pretending to browse, but watching every move. One woman clutched her purse tighter. Another whispered, "He can't afford that." Marcus kept silent, his patience unbroken. He had built his business from the ground up, survived rejection and hate, and now ran a successful investment firm. But none of that mattered to them. To them, he was just another black man in a store that sold things they thought he couldn't buy. When Marcus asked politely to see one of the necklaces, Lily hesitated, then said, "So these are very expensive, maybe something in our lower range would suit you better." Marcus looked at her, calm but firm. "I'll take that one, please." Her smile faded. She pulled the necklace out reluctantly and placed it on the counter as if it might disappear. The other staff exchanged mocking looks. Mr. Reynolds walked closer just to watch him fail when his card would decline. Marcus reached into his wallet and pulled out a sleek black card engraved with 2 words in silver, "Platinum Elite." The laughter stopped. Silence filled the room. The same people who looked down on him now looked confused, shocked. Mr. Reynolds' face lost color. Lily's fake smile trembled. Marcus handed over the card without a word. And in that silence, you could almost hear the walls of prejudice cracking. If you think this was the twist, wait till you see what happens next. Subscribe now so you don't miss Chapter 2, and tell me in the comments what you would have done if you were in Marcus's place. The card machine beeped once, twice, then flashed, "Approved." The soft hum of the store seemed to freeze. Marcus Hayes stood quietly, his calm face unshaken, while Lily Carter's smile collapsed into embarrassment. Mr. Reynolds cleared his throat, trying to recover his authority. "Of course, sir, thank you for your purchase," he said, his voice trembling slightly. The same people who had whispered moments ago now looked away, pretending to browse as guilt painted their faces. Emma Walker, the kind woman who had been watching from the perfume section, stepped closer, her voice gentle yet firm. "It's sad that people only see worth after money proves it," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Marcus turned his head, meeting her eyes for the first time, and nodded silently. Lily forced a nervous laugh, trying to justify herself. "We just get a lot of visitors who don't buy anything, sir. I didn't mean." But Marcus raised his hand, calmly stopping her. "You judged me before I spoke a word," he said quietly, but every word struck like truth itself. "You looked at my skin and decided what I could afford. That says more about you than it does about me." The room felt heavier now. Mr. Reynolds shifted awkwardly, then forced a shallow smile. "Please accept our apologies, so we'll offer you a discount on your next visit." Marcus looked at him and replied, "I don't need discounts, I need respect." His tone was neither angry nor loud, but filled with power, the kind that came from dignity, not pride. Emma watched with quiet admiration. The store fell silent again as Marcus picked up the bag holding the necklace and turned toward the exit. Each step echoed like a statement against every stereotype they had thrown his way. As he reached the door, he stopped, turned slightly, and said, "Treat every customer like a human being, not a headline." Then he left. The bell above the door chimed softly, but its sound carried weight. Inside the boutique, shame hung heavier than any perfume. Emma whispered under her breath, "That's how change begins." And she was right, because sometimes a quiet confrontation leaves the loudest impact. If you felt that moment hit your heart, drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever been judged before anyone knew your worth? And don't forget to subscribe, because Chapter 3 will leave you speechless. The next morning, sunlight spilled across the same luxury store, but this time whispers began before Marcus Hayes even stepped in. His face had appeared on the morning news under the headline, "Local Entrepreneur Donates Millions to Underprivileged Students." Lily Carter's hands trembled as she arranged the new display, pretending not to notice the door open. Marcus walked in wearing the same simple clothes, but something about his calm confidence made the entire staff pause. Mr. Reynolds rushed forward, smiling too widely. "Mr. Hayes, welcome back, sir. We are deeply honored to have you again." His tone had changed overnight from judgment to desperation. Marcus looked around the boutique, then met Emma Walker, who smiled softly from the counter. "I didn't expect to be back this soon," Marcus said gently. Lily's face flushed red as she stepped forward, clutching the same register that had humiliated him yesterday. "I'm sorry, sir, I shouldn't have treated you that way." Her voice cracked, but Marcus didn't reply right away. He simply placed a small velvet box on the counter, the same necklace she had assumed he couldn't afford. "I came back to return this," he said quietly, "not because I regret buying it, but because I believe lessons should cost something." Lily looked confused. "Lessons?" she whispered. Marcus nodded slowly. "Yesterday you taught me how deep judgment still runs. Today I'm teaching you what real worth looks like. It's not in gold or cards or clothes. It's in character." His words lingered like thunder before silence. Emma stepped forward, her voice steady. "He shouldn't have to prove that to anyone." Mr. Reynolds lowered his eyes for the first time, his polished arrogance cracking into guilt. "You're right," he admitted softly. Marcus looked at him and said, "Don't call me sir, call everyone equal." Then he turned to leave again. Cameras from outside flashed through the window as reporters gathered, unaware that the real story inside wasn't about fame or wealth, it was about humanity. As Marcus reached the door, he paused and said, "Change how you see people before people like me stop walking through your doors." Then he stepped into the sunlight, leaving behind silence and reflection. Lily stood frozen, her eyes moist, her arrogance gone, replaced with the sting of truth. Emma smiled faintly, whispering, "That's what respect really looks like." If you felt Marcus taught them something powerful, comment "Respect over judgment" below and subscribe, because Chapter 4 will show you how one act of courage can change an entire system. Days passed since Marcus Hayes walked out of that luxury store, leaving behind silence heavier than gold. But his words didn't fade, they spread. Emma Walker had recorded part of the scene and posted it online, not to shame anyone, but to show the world how judgment still walks behind expensive counters. The video went viral across the UK, sparking national conversations about racism and respect. Lily Carter couldn't escape it. Every comment cut through her pride like a mirror, forcing her to face the person she had been. Mr. Reynolds watched his store's reputation collapse overnight as customers demanded change, not discounts. Then one morning, a letter arrived at Marcus's office, written in trembling handwriting. It was from Lily. "I judged you by your color, not your character. I'm ashamed of how I treated you. You didn't just teach me a lesson, you opened my eyes. I've resigned from that store and started volunteering for youth equality programs because of you." Marcus read the letter quietly, his heart heavy but hopeful. Naomi, his wife, placed a hand on his shoulder, whispering, "You see, love, sometimes change starts with pain." Marcus smiled faintly, replying, "Yes, but it's the kind of pain that heals." Later that week, the store reopened under new management with a clear sign at the door that read, "Respect is our first luxury." Emma was invited as a guest speaker to share her story of courage. Marcus never returned to shop there again, but his message stayed on every wall, unseen but felt. Months later, Lily met Marcus again at a charity event. She approached with tears and whispered, "Thank you for forgiving me before I even asked." Marcus replied softly, "We rise higher when we lift others from their mistakes." The crowd applauded as he walked to the stage, not as a customer, but as a symbol of grace. If this story moved you, comment, "Equality is the real luxury," and subscribe for more stories that remind the world kindness costs nothing but changes everything. The lesson here is simple. Never judge by color, judge by character, because sometimes the person you look down on might be standing taller than you in every way that matters.